What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about will new car prices fall in 2023? Now, after looking at all the data and seeing the current trends that are going on in the market, my personal opinion is yes, and I'm going to explain why. Also, I'm going to tell you some of the things that dealers and manufacturers are doing to keep prices high. A lot of them I believe is illegal, it's immoral, and some of the stuff they're doing is flat out just bad business practices. I see a lot of lawsuits happening in 2023 and 2024. Now, before I get into the video, if you could do me a huge favor and gently squeeze the like button for YouTube algorithm, it also find more amazing people like yourselves that enjoy automotive content. Also, please consider subscribing. We do post 2 times a week, so make sure you click the notification bell. And once again, follow us on Instagram at Lucky Lopez. Let's get into the video. Now, before we get into 2023, I want to recap really quick what happened in 2022. Now, 2022, we saw a complete change in the automotive market. So for the last 7 months, prices have steadily been dropping across the board. You can look at blackbook.com, which I'll leave a link down below, and MMR. Wholesale pricing, what us dealers use to basically buy cars at the auction and sell them, our vehicle values, is what we live and die by. And you can see in these charts, and I'll put one over here, the vehicle values have steadily been dropping since the first quarter of 2022 on an average of 1 to 2% per week. The one that skyrocketed the most was during the month of November. During the month of November, it dropped all the way to 12.8% across the board. Some luxury cars were hit harder and SUVs, but across the board with economy cars and everything else, it was around 12%. Now, this equals somewhere around 18 to 20% in decrease of pricing. Now, this is huge. Now, I want to really explain this so these people that are always in the comments like, you're lying, prices are high, oh my God, they're not going down. Prices are going to drop. They're not going to crash. These knuckleheads that keep expecting that, oh, well, I want to buy a $25,000 car for 10 grand. That is not happening. So take that mindset out and take time to focus and realize that the prices are going down. You can check Car Gurus. Literally, you can see days on market. We talked about this in a bunch of my other videos. Average days on market is around 45 to 50 days. Right now, it's hovering at 57 days, which is bad. During the pandemic, when the market was like on fire, the average holding day was 7 days. So just see that massive gap from then till now. There's more and more cars coming onto the market, more and more repos that are hitting the market, plus the credit crunch that we keep talking about. Now, the reason why I believe prices are going down is because the demand is slowly dwindling. Now, there are some cars that are extremely desirable and people want. If you want something rare, like a Shelby GT or something along those natures, or a limited edition, yes, you are still gonna have to pay a little bit of extra for those particular type of vehicles. Now, since the dawn of time, you can go to any franchise dealer, and if it was something new, limited, rare, special edition, you would have to pay over MSRP. Now, before people get triggered and blow up in my comment section, dealers will always put the highest price possible because they want to make as much money as they can. So there's still a lot of dealers putting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over MSRP. They are not getting that anymore. You have room to negotiate. I hate when people are like, the prices are not going down, the dealers are not dropping it. I guarantee you, and I promise you, if you walk into a dealer and you say, I don't want to pay over MSRP, I'll pay MSRP, some dealers will say yes, some dealers will say no. Take your time, call the people. The people that are diligent and work a little bit harder always see the benefits and the gains. I have this battle in the comment section all the time, and even on my Instagram. This dealer won't give me $1 off. The prices are not going down. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you check maybe one state over and see? Well, that's 200,000 or 200 miles. I don't want to drive 200 miles. I'm like, so you're telling me you don't want to drive 200 miles to save $10,000? And it blows my mind. People have gotten so lazy with Car Gurus and stuff like that. I remember back in the day, buying a car, you literally would hop in your car and work the deals back and forth to all the dealerships and pit them against each other. But for some reason now in the internet world, people just want to look and get the cheapest price. I'm telling you right now, you'll always see high prices on the internet because they don't want to drop their pants. If you're there in the showroom and you're negotiating with them, they will lower the price. Now, I get screenshots every single day of people showing me cars that are way over MSRP. They send me window stickers of stuff that's just outlandish. But then I also see ads of people, dealers, actually saying, hey, we will sell at MSRP. We want your business. So there are dealers out there that are stepping up and doing this. But first, I want to thank today's sponsor, Kudos. Credit card rewards is a great way to save money. But the more cards you get, it's hard to remember which card offers which reward. Well, thankfully, today's sponsor, Kudos, is here to tell us exactly which card to use for every online purchase. Kudos is a smart wallet that guarantees you get the most rewards and benefits out of your credit cards every time you shop online. All you have to do is tell them which credit card you use, and then at checkout, they'll recommend the best credit card to use. Kudos is very easy to use. Now, when I was on Amazon the other day shopping, Kudos automatically recommended my Amazon Rewards Visa card that earns me 5% cash back. But my favorite part of Kudos is they're always looking for hidden rewards, such as traveler's insurance, purchase protection, benefits that you didn't even know that you had. It's really a no-brainer that the average user unlocks over $750 per year with Kudos. And to celebrate the holidays, I'm partnering with Kudos and giving the first 1,000 people that register before December 25th a $10 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is click on the link below in the description and use my promo code LUCKY_holiday and make an auto-filled purchase with Kudos. Stop throwing away free money. Shop smarter. So one of the main reasons why I believe that new car prices are going to be dropping in 2023 is affordability. Now, this is a hot word that's been used over and over again by the media, not only for the automotive sector, but for housing, groceries, gas, everything across the spectrum. With inflation, these prices have gotten ridiculous, and Americans simply can't afford to overpay for vehicles anymore. It's not truly a necessity in some sense, when they could go ahead and buy a used car for much, much cheaper. What I mean by this is if you are a new dealer and you have a brand new car and you're charging, let's say, $50,000 for it, and you want $10,000 above MSRP, so you want to sell this $50,000 car for 60 grand. Americans just simply can't afford it. When they can buy a car that's maybe 1 year older with a few miles that they could probably buy for maybe $45,000, why are they going to pay this inflated price? And now that new car prices are steadily dropping every single month, it's making more and more reasonable to purchase a used vehicle. So people are going out of their way to save money to lower their overhead. So one of the next things that's going to help lower prices in 2023 is rising interest rates. Now, when I purchased my Audi R8 back in 2021, I got 1.9% for 72 months, which was a great deal. Currently, I went to my bank, which is Navy Federal Credit Union, and I wanted to refinance a bunch of my cars to see if I can get a much better rate. And their great rate was anywhere from 5.5% for some of the newer cars all the way up to 7.5% on some of my used cars, which wasn't a great deal. Now, this is something I'm going to talk about because I know people are going to be in the comment section saying, well, Lucky, I can get 2% interest or 3% interest. Dealers are advertising it online. Here's the catch. This is how dealers are trying to screw consumers. If you use a dealership or manufacturer bank like Toyota Financial, Ford Motor Credit, they will finance the MSRP and even over the MSRP because they simply don't care. They want to get the most amount of money they possibly can out of the consumer. So if banks are not willing to give the customers lower interest rates so they can afford a payment, they will give you a much, much higher payment. So I've been talking to a friend of mine that works at a Toyota store, and he's telling me that 8 out of every 10 deals that they're sending out now is 100% Toyota Financial because a lot of the banks are not accepting the over MSRP prices. They're lowering the terms and raising the down payments on some of these vehicles. One of the reasons why is because banks have been losing money with repos. When they buy a car way over MSRP and then now it goes to the auction and now it sells for wholesale and they got a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 gap, the bank has to eat that. So a lot of these banks like Ally, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, these banks are starting to minimize their risk, so they're changing their parameters. They're saying, hey, we want less term, so 84 and 96 months, that shit's gone. They want higher interest rates, they want bigger down payments, etc., etc. A lot of these dealers don't like that. They want to sell you cars over MSRP with no money down, and they want to rip every dollar out of you. The only banks that are going to be doing this are the actual manufacturer banks. So be very careful. If they tell you that, hey, you know what, I can get you approved through Toyota Finance for this $20,000 over MSRP Toyota RAV4, do not do it. Say, nope, I have a check from my credit union. This is what I want. They will fight, they will scream, they will bicker, they will try to tell you not to do it. They're not going to do it. Be patient. don't buy. Don't believe in the hype, this whole FOMO of, oh, the chip shortage, we don't know when we're going to get the next batch. Be patient. I promise you, the first quarter of 2023 and the second quarter, there is going to be deals. We're seeing them already. I'll put some screenshots again. Dealers are selling at MSRP. Now, let's get back to banks. Now, we already know that dealers are trying to do some shady stuff to keep the prices high when it comes to lending by offering you supplemental financing through their bank manufacturers. But with this credit crunch, it's going to make it much, much harder for regular people and the mass general public to purchase these cars. Now, during the pandemic, a lot of these banks threw out their criteria when it came to lending because the money was flowing, they could sell off their loans, they didn't really care. So the credit parameters were just very loose. If you made $5,000 a month, you can get a $1,000 a month payment. If you make $2,000 a month, you can get a $1,000 car payment. Everybody and their grandma can get that type of loan. And so now it's coming home to bite these banks in the butt. So they're no longer doing it. So the credit crunch is going to be factor number 3 when it comes to dealers actually dropping their new car prices because people just simply will not qualify. And I believe that one is going to be one of the biggest factors when it comes to this. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is supply and demand. This is what drives all prices in all markets. Now, during the pandemic, when everything shut down, they started that supply chain interruption. Once the economy opened back up and we pumped it full of money, the demand started shooting for the roof and the supply chains could simply not keep up with it. Fast forward to today, supply chains are almost back to normal. There's a lot of manufacturers that are creating chips. You can call any local dealer if you need to get a new PCM for your car or computer, and you can get it. Now, there are some manufacturers that are held back a little bit more as far as supply chain. A lot of the European vehicles, Mercedes, BMW, etc., get their wiring harnesses from companies out of Ukraine. So those are going to be affected probably a little bit longer, but most of the supply chains are back to normal. So what's happening? Cars are being built, supply is going out there. But now that demand is basically dwindling because of sky-high prices, overinflated interest rates, and just the simple demand of people not wanting to pay that much for a new car, demand is going down and down. So this is giving time for supply to catch up to it. So you can go drive by any dealership you like and see that little by little, you're going to see more and more cars in their inventory. I remember doing this video about 6 months ago, and I had a bunch of people screaming that their dealers had no new cars. They only had 1 or 2 new cars out there. And I told them, you got to do the oldest trick in the book. You got to drive around the building to see some of the cars that are sitting back there. This is how dealers are deceiving it. There was a Nissan dealership here in Las Vegas. They had 10 Nissan Sentras up front, all for $6,000 to $8,000 over MSRP, and they would not budge. They said these were the only cars they had, and once they're gone, they're gone. But if you were to drive back around, they had another 60 to 70 cars sitting in the back of their lot behind their showroom floor. These are some of the tactics that dealers are doing to try to keep prices up, to give you that FOMO that, oh my God, supply chains are wrapped up, blah, blah, blah. That's one of the things that boggle my mind. People don't believe me when I tell them that the supply chains are fine. Supply is building. Dealers are going to lie to you. They're going to tell you no to your face 1,000 times if you keep asking for a good price because they don't want to give it to you. They're hoping that some other dum-dum is going to show up and overpay for a car because unfortunately, the reason why prices are still high in some markets is because some people are still stupid to pay over retail. But if you take your time, you negotiate with the dealer, you go to multiple dealers and ask them for a better deal, you will get one. And this is starting to trickle all the way across the market. I'll put up a picture here again of some of these manufacturers and dealers that are selling cars at MSRP. They'd rather have more cars out there in the market share than not. So a lot of manufacturers came out and publicly said that they're going to be making less vehicles in 2023. Now, they're blaming this on supply chain. They're blaming it on human resources. They don't have enough people, blah, 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 whatever they can do to justify their causes. But the main reason is this. If they were to resume full-scale building and build more cars and add more supply, that means prices are going to go down. Why would they do that? Why not make less vehicles, keep demand high, and make more money on each vehicle? And that's the big conundrum that we keep running into. A lot of these manufacturers are basically saying, you know what, we're going to try to keep demand high and shrink our things and get all-time record profits. But here's the problem with that. It's going to work until another manufacturer steps in, which I believe is going to be Volkswagen, Hyundai, or Kia, and is going to say, you know what, we're going to ramp up production, and every time you decide not to sell a car because you want to get over MSRP, we're going to sell one of our cars at MSRP. and they're going to start taking up market share. And I believe that's more valuable in the long term. Now, these guys can't see that far in front of their faces. All they're saying is, well, I want to raise my stock prices and make everybody happy, so I'm going to charge massive amounts of money and keep our profits high, where little by little, they're going to be losing market share. Now, some of these things I believe is what's going to help bring the prices down for 2023. Now, I'd love to hear your opinions and your comments on why you think prices are going to go down in 2023 or if prices are going to go up. And even if your opinion is different from mine, that is okay. This whole purpose of this channel is to learn from each other. You know, I won't get offended if you don't agree with me. I love to hear your opinions. The whole point is to be transparent on this channel, talk about the automotive industry, and hopefully get through all the BS so we can eventually come out on the other side and work together. I'm hoping that a lot of these dealers are watching this, realizing that you can still sell cars at MSRP and still make money. Dealerships get bonuses at the end. If we sell all of our allocations, we get bonuses. So they're going to sell out anyways. So instead of making the money up front now, just get your bonuses, get it on the back end, and push these inventory out. Because if not, some other dealer or some other manufacturer is going to creep up and start stealing your market share. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next video.